Hi everyone and welcome to Amy Learns to Cook. On the show today, we're going to make homemade cinnamon applesauce. I grew up eating homemade applesauce because we had a small orchard and my mom made it every single year. This is an absolutely fabulous fall side dish. You and your kids will love it. So join me as we make my homemade cinnamon applesauce. So we have 4 pounds of McIntosh apples. We went to a local farm stand to get these, and what we've done is we've peeled them, and I just have them in a little bit of water with some lemon juice just because it's going to take me some time to get the core out and to chop them. We're going to be making this in LeCreuset Enameled Dutch oven. You can make this in a saucepan. You can make this actually in a slow cooker or a multi-cooker if you have one, or any kind of pan on the stove. So in here we're just going to cover the very bottom of it with a little bit of apple cider, and you just want it to just cover the bottom. You don't really need that much. And we're going to cut our apple. So Eric graciously peeled these for me. So I'm using this little knife that I have, and it's kind of unique because it has this little fin on it. I used this one time before. I got this a number of years ago, and I really don't use it that much, but it's just kind of a little novelty knife. A lot of people commented about where I got this. It actually is no longer made, so if you could catch one used maybe on eBay. Just quick shout out to my girl Marty. She really thought this knife was kind of neat, and so I'm using this in her honor. So let's go ahead and core our apples. So we want to just cut them this way. And the way I core them, if you have like a thing that automatically cores your apples, I just cut the middle out like that. Make sure I got the whole middle. And we're basically just going to cut these like this. So we're going to basically quarter them. If you have some pieces that are too big, just cut them down a little bit. They're pretty much going to disintegrate. We're going to go ahead and put that into our pan there. We've got the apples all cut up. So we have just the bottom covered with a little bit of apple cider. We've got our apples in here, and we are going to go ahead and put in 2 cinnamon sticks. We also put the juice of half a lemon in here. We did that while we were cutting these, so it'll add tartness to it, but it'll also keep the apples from browning. So we have this down over low heat. We're going to simmer this. We're going to bring it to a simmer, and then we are going to simmer it for 15 minutes until they soften and cook down. We are going to be adding sugar to this, but the sugar comes in after we soften them. If you put the sugar in now, there's something chemically that goes on that they don't quite break down as well. The sugar interacts with them and they just don't break down as much or as easily with if you don't put it in there at first. If you happen to put it in there, you might have to come in with the potato masher and mash some of those up because they just won't quite break down the same way. But if you don't put them in there, these are going to soften and they're going to be really nice. I like mine a little bit chunky. You can ultimately run it through a food mill if you like it really super smooth, but I like a little bit of chunks in there. So we're going to bring this to a simmer. We're going to cover it and we're going to simmer it for about 15 minutes until they break down and soften. Okay, so the apples are softened. We're going to go ahead and we're going to put 5 ounces of sugar. Now, if you like your applesauce really super sweet, put a little more. I like mine tangy and somewhat sweet. We're also going to put a 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. That is also to test. And we're going to put some cinnamon. We're going to go ahead and give this a stir. And so we're going to let this cook another like 10 minutes until this is totally broken down. At the very end, we're going to adjust. If you want to put a little more cinnamon in there to taste, I'm also going to put in at the very end a little sprinkling of salt, tiny bit of salt, just to bring that flavor up. So I'll see you back in 10 minutes. So now our applesauce is done. I'm just mashing it a little bit with my masher. I don't want to overly mash it because I like it to be a little bit on the chunky side. So I'm going to take out the cinnamon sticks. Be careful because it's kind of hot. I got another one in here somewhere. There it goes. And I'm going to put a couple dashes of salt, not a lot, just to bring out a little bit of the flavor. And now let's serve it up. Okay, so let's serve up a little bit of applesauce. It looks so good and it smells so good. It smells like fall. So you could make up a big, huge batch of this and can it. I'm not really into canning, but you could do that. So let's take a taste. It's a little bit warm. You probably want to put it in the refrigerator and cool it off. It is tasty. Wow. It is so much better than the stuff you get just from the store. It's fresher tasting. The stuff in the store, they just use high fructose corn syrup. And this tastes like apples, cinnamon, and nutmeg. This will warm you up. When it starts getting chilly outside, make a batch of this and sit out on the deck. And you even eat this with ice cream. It is so unbelievably outstanding. Your very own homemade cinnamon applesauce. Try it. You're really going to like it. If you like this recipe, please subscribe below and visit my website at amylearnstocook.com. I'm also on Twitter and Pinterest at Amy Learns to Cook.